America is often seen as a land of opportunity, growth, and movement. People move for jobs, better weather, safer neighborhoods, and a higher quality of life. But while some cities are growing faster than ever, there are towns across the United States where almost nobody is moving anymore. These towns are not always dangerous. They are not always poor. Some of them are beautiful, historic, and full of stories. Yet people still avoid them. The question is simple, but the answer is complex. Why is nobody moving to these towns? In this video, we are going to explore the real reasons people are staying away. Not rumors, not stereotypes, but the everyday realities that quietly push people to choose somewhere else. And once you understand these reasons, you will never look at small American towns the same way again. The big picture! When people decide where to move, they usually ask themselves a few basic questions. Can I find a good job here? Is the cost of living reasonable? Are there schools, hospitals, and basic services nearby? Will my children have a future here? Is this place safe, stable, and growing? For many towns across America, the honest answer to these questions has slowly become no, not overnight. Not because of one disaster, but because of years of slow decline. Town 1, Gary, Indiana. Gary was once a symbol of American industrial power. Steel factories provided thousands of well-paying jobs. Families moved here with hope and confidence. Today, that story has changed. When the steel industry declined, jobs disappeared. Businesses that depended on factory workers closed. Schools lost funding. Entire neighborhoods were abandoned. People who wanted to move to Gary saw empty homes, crumbling roads, and limited job opportunities. Even though housing is cheap, the lack of economic stability keeps newcomers away. Gary is a clear example of how job loss alone can stop migration completely. Why jobs matter more than anything, no matter how cheap a town is, people will not move there if they cannot earn a living. Many struggling towns suffer from factory closures, mining shutdowns. Manufacturing jobs, moving overseas automation, replacing workers. When one major employer leaves, the entire town feels it. Without jobs, people leave. And without people, nothing new comes in. This creates a cycle that is very hard to break. Town 2, Flint. Michigan, Flint became known worldwide for its water crisis, but the problem started long before that. The collapse of the auto industry caused massive job losses. Population decline followed. Then came the water contamination, which destroyed trust. Even today, many people are afraid to move to Flint because of health concerns. Aging infrastructure and damaged public services. Trust is a powerful thing. Once it is broken, migration stops. Infrastructure problems. Many townspeople avoid share the same issue. Failing infrastructure. This includes old water systems, broken roads and bridges, aging power grids, poor internet access for remote workers, families, and businesses. Infrastructure is not optional. It is essential. When infrastructure fails, people look elsewhere. Town 3, Youngstown, Ohio. Youngstown was built around steel. When the mills shut down, the town lost its identity. Empty factories still stand as reminders of what once was. Population decline led to school closures and fewer public services. Young professionals do not move to Youngstown because there are limited career paths. Families hesitate because schools struggle. Retirees worry about healthcare access. Without opportunity at every stage of life, migration stops. Weather as a silent factor, weather does not always seem important at first, but over time, it becomes a deciding factor. Some towns face brutal winters, heavy snowfall, flooding, tornado risks, extreme heat. When daily life becomes harder because of weather, people choose comfort elsewhere. Town 4, Duluth. Minnesota Duluth is beautiful. It has lakes, nature, and history. But harsh winters push many people away. Long winters mean high heating costs, difficult travel, and seasonal depression for some residents. People looking to relocate often choose milder climates, even if the cost of living is higher. Comfort matters more than beauty. Population decline and its effect. When people leave a town, everything changes. Stores close because there are fewer customers. Schools merge or shut down. Hospitals reduce services. Public transportation becomes limited. New residents see these signs and decide not to move there. Population decline becomes visible, and that visibility discourages newcomers. Taon 5. Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Pine Bluff struggles with high poverty rates and limited economic growth. Even though housing is affordable, people avoid the town due to concerns about safety, education, quality, and job prospects. Once a town develops a negative reputation, it becomes extremely difficult to reverse. Reputation matters. Sometimes towns struggle not because of reality, but because of perception. News, headlines, crime statistics, and social media stories shape how people view a place. Even if conditions improve, the reputation can lag behind for years. People move to places that feel safe, stable, and promising. If you have ever lived in a town that people were leaving, or if you chose not to move somewhere because of reasons like these, share your experience in the comments. Your story helps others understand what statistics cannot show. Town 6. Cairo, Illinois. Cairo sits at the meeting point of two rivers, but its location has not saved it. Flood risk, job loss, and extreme population decline have left the town almost empty. Most services are limited. Many buildings are abandoned. For newcomers, there is no incentive to move here. Cairo shows how geography alone cannot save a town. Young people are the key. One of the biggest reasons towns fail to attract newcomers is the loss of young people. Young adults leave for education, better jobs, entertainment, social life. Without young people, towns age rapidly. Innovation slows. Businesses struggle to find workers. New families do not move to towns without youth energy. Town 7. Youngstown, Pennsylvania. Youngstown faces repeated flooding and economic stagnation. People who consider moving here worry about rebuilding costs, insurance, and long-term stability. When risk feels higher than reward, migration stops. So far, we have seen how job loss, infrastructure failure, weather reputation, population decline all work together to quietly stop people from moving to certain American towns. But there are still more towns to explore, and even deeper reasons behind this nationwide pattern. If you want to understand why this trend is spreading and which towns are next, make sure you stay until the end. And if this topic interests you, subscribe for more deep dives into America's hidden realities. We saw how jobs disappear, infrastructure fails, weather becomes unbearable, and reputations slowly destroy the appeal of entire towns. But there is more happening beneath the surface. The reasons people avoid moving to these towns are not only economic or environmental, they are deeply human. Town 8. EAST. Streets. Louis, Illinois. East St. Louis was once a thriving industrial city with strong rail connections and manufacturing jobs. Over time, factories closed, tax revenue collapsed, and public services deteriorated. Many neighborhoods lost basic services like grocery stores, clinics, and reliable transportation. Vacant lots replaced homes. Schools struggled to remain open. People considering a move. Look at East St. Louis and see uncertainty. Even when housing is affordable, the lack of stability and opportunity stops migration almost completely. This town shows how deeply economic collapse can damage trust in a place. The school system problem. Families move where their children can succeed. When schools decline, migration stops. In many struggling towns, schools close or merge due to low enrollment, teacher shortages increase. Extracurricular programs disappear, graduation rates fall, parents looking to relocate immediately cross these towns off their list. Even if everything else is affordable, education remains non-negotiable. Town 9. Beckley, West Virginia. Beckley depended heavily on coal mining. When coal jobs declined, the entire regional economy suffered. Young people left for college and never returned. Healthcare services became limited. Local businesses closed. For outsiders, Beckley feels isolated. Limited job diversities and long distances to major cities discourage new residents. This town represents many rural communities that struggle after a single industry collapses. Isolation and distance. Another silent reason people do not move to certain towns is isolation. Many of these towns are Far from airports, far from major hospitals, far from universities, far from universities. In a connected world, distance feels like a disadvantage. People want access, not isolation. Taon 10, Selma, Alabama. Selma holds immense historical importance, but history alone does not attract new residents. Economic stagnation, limited job growth, and infrastructure challenges continue to affect daily life. Young adults leave for larger cities, leaving behind an aging population. Potential newcomers admire Selma's past, but worry about its future. This highlights a difficult truth. History does not guarantee survival. Healthcare access matters. Healthcare plays a major role in relocation decisions. In struggling towns, hospitals shut down or reduce services. Specialist care is unavailable. Emergency response times increase. Families, retirees, and professionals avoid moving to places where healthcare access feels risky. Without healthcare, long-term settlement becomes unlikely. Why revitalization often fails. Many towns try to reinvent themselves, but revival is not easy. Common problems include lack of long-term investment, political mismanagement, temporary projects without lasting impact, failure to attract diverse industries. One coffee shop or art project is not enough to reverse decades of decline. People want proof of stability, not promises. The emotional weight on residents, those who stay behind, carry a heavy emotional burden. They watch friends leave. They see familiar places close. They feel forgotten by the rest of the country. Some stay out of loyalty. Some stay because they cannot afford to leave. Others stay because this town is home, no matter how broken it becomes. This emotional reality is invisible to outsiders, but deeply powerful. The youth drain problem without young people. Towns slowly fade. No startups, no innovation, no new families. Once a town loses its youth, attracting new residents becomes nearly impossible. Why people choose not to move when people research where to live? They want opportunity, safety, growth, stability, community. These towns struggle to offer all five at the same time, so people choose somewhere else. Not because these towns are worthless, but because modern life demands more support, more access, and more certainty. A national pattern. What we are seeing is not isolated. It is happening across the country. Small towns lose industries. Cities lose population. Entire regions shrink quietly. This is not sudden collapse. It is slow disappearance. Have you ever lived in a town that people stopped moving to? Did you leave or did you stay? Your story matters more than statistics. Share it in the comments. If you want to understand the real America beyond headlines and tourist cities, subscribe to this channel. We explore the towns, the people, and the stories that most people never see. Some towns are not growing. Some towns are not dying. They are simply being left behind. And once a town is forgotten, survival becomes the hardest battle of all.